Hey everyone, it's Birthday Ogre, and I'm here to this is my review for F1, the movie, the new film directed by Joseph Kosinski, and starring Brad Pitt, Damson Idris, Kerry Condon, and also Javier Bardem in lead roles. Now, F1 was one of my most anticipated films of this year, and one of the most anticipated films of the summer, and I love it when a film actually hits the expectations that it had for the movie, and then some. Because F1 is one of my favorite films so far this year. It is an easy 10 out of 10. It is a well-packaged, well-produced, and just a kick-ass ride of a movie. It is so entertaining. It is so well done. It is a blast. Alright, to be honest with you, there are some flaws with this film, but I overlooked them because this movie is such a blast of a watch. It is so entertaining from start to finish. The pacing is just excellent, and the production values are off the charts here. Now, the two main flaws, in my personal opinion, and again, they're not severe flaws, but it's just the storyline is very predictable. It's by the books. It's by the beats. Very cliched. If you go on a washroom break, or if you just close your eyes and reopen them like 5 minutes later, you would know exactly what had just happened and what's going to happen with the rest of the story. I don't care. Sometimes I'll give a film a pass in terms of the storyline if it's cliched, if it's well made like F1. And the characters are very cookie cutter. They're very much transplanted from other stories into this film. Though I did like the characters in this movie, it's mainly due to the fact that the talent in this movie is insane. Brad Pitt, Damson Idris, Kerry Condon, and Javier Bardem, alongside the rest of the cast, are great. But their characters are so predictable. Their lines are so predictable. Yet I still had a blast with this movie. Alright, so let's get into the positives about F1. Now, the cinematographer for this film is Claudio Miranda. And the way that he has shot this movie is just superb. It is so epic in terms of scale, in terms of the visceral visuals that are shown on screen. You feel like you are in the car as the driver, or surrounding the car as it's driving around every turn and every straight ahead lane. This movie is what I want films to be like when they're trying to be a concept blockbuster. For example, Top Gun Maverick, which was ironically shot by Claudio Miranda as well, alongside Joseph Kosinski as the director. In that film, they made you feel like you were in the cockpit with Tom Cruise and the other fighter pilots in that movie. So that was one of the reasons why it was such a big blockbuster, because it made you feel like you were in that situation and in that sequence with the characters. Same thing here. When the cars are being driven throughout all the hecticness and all the chaos that is ensuing in these races, you feel like you are part of the race. And that's because they actually shot it during actual races, actual Grand Prix, which is so cool and so epic. And that's why I love the production values of this film. Again, I want blockbusters in general. If they're going to go all in terms of budget, go all in. Every dollar needs to be shown on screen. And when you see this movie, when you see the mammoth budget that is attached to this film, it is rightfully so attached to this movie, because every dollar is shown on screen. The cars are cool. You actually get to see every logo and every kind of emblem that is associated with F1. There's no hidden stuff. Everything is shown. There's no we can't show this because there's a copyright issue. No. I feel like they spent so much money on just buying the ability to show everything on screen, which I really appreciated, because again, if they had to fake it and put fictional stuff in there, it wouldn't make it as real as it is shown on screen here. I think the production values in this movie are some of the best production values I've seen in a blockbuster in ages. And kudos to Jerry Bruckheimer and his team, because again, the production could have skimmed on any sort of dollar amount by saying let's do CGI or whatever, but no, they actually made it feel like and look like you're actually there watching these people race, and actually watching it on a big screen like IMAX in epic fashion. And again, the cinematography, the production values in this movie are insane. Go watch it in IMAX. It is so worth it. because I did not blink. I swear I was not blinking for half of this movie. Every time a racing scene was on screen, I forgot to blink. That's how invested I was into the racing scenes in this movie. Again, kudos to the team. Stefan Mirioni is the editor for this movie, and the editing in this movie is so, crisp and clean and just very, very much like full throttle. Again, the editing in this movie makes you feel like you are part of the race, and it's just like you can't wait to see what happens next. Whether it's a big crash out or if it's a big, overtaking of one car from another. Excellent editing as well. And the music is done by none other than Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer's score here is a little bit familiar to some of the other scores that he's done in the past, but a legend, one of the greatest of all time. And again, the music while watching this movie is so epic, so grand, and so cool to listen to. And even the pop songs that are thrown into there here and there during the sequences in this movie, they're all pretty catchy songs. So yeah, just a great audio sounding film as well. Now, I've already talked about the cinematography, the production values, the editing, and the music for this movie. Last but not least, let's talk about Joseph Kosinski, his ability as a director to throw you into situations. This man is a gifted talent in terms of making you feel like you are in the center of attention and being in the shoes and the seat of the character that is on screen. Now, I really like his visual style, his directing style, and the way he's packaged his movies so far in his career. I know a lot of people loved Top Gun Maverick, and I did love it. I wouldn't say I loved it as much as other people, but this might be recency bias, but I thought the F1 was a more superior film in terms of making you feel like the character and making you feel like you're in that situation in comparison to Top Gun Maverick. I did like it, but F1, it is so visceral, it is so in your face, it is so bombastic in terms of his entertainment values. This movie, again, is so cool. It's almost like a D-box experience without having to sit in a D-box, seat in a theater. Yeah, your seat's not shaking, but you literally feel like you are in the driver's seat. And again, like I said before in this review, I wasn't blinking a lot when the driver sequences were happening. They're so fun to watch. I've seen other films with great driver sequences too, but F1 just has this different spark to it. And I think it's the camera placements and the direction of Joseph Kosinski. Whatever it is so fun, is so entertaining, and that's why I had a blast. I overlooked the cliches of the story and the characters because everything about this movie is top-notch. Apple has given top dollar, along with Jerry Bruckheimer, to make this movie the way that it is. And if you're an F1 fan, you might find some discrepancies and some negatives about this movie in terms of the realistic nature of the racing sequences. I'm not an F1 fan in comparison to other people, but for me, I had a blast. And I'm sure that even if you find unrealistic things about this movie in terms of the racing, stunts and everything, I still think you're going to have a blast while watching this film in general. I could go on and on. I really hope that Apple puts this film on 4K or Blu-ray because I'm going to buy it as soon as possible when it's available. But yeah, F1 is just a fantastic film. It's also a great movie in terms of showing you should do things for the love of the sport or the game or whatever it is. Don't do it just for monetary reasons, or don't do it just for, the fame or the celebrity. Do it because you love what you do. Brad Pitt's character is almost like a guardian angel in a sense, who's wounded and is trying to overcome his demons. But, it was fun and great to see his character bestow upon everyone else the fact that, you got to do things because you love what you do, for the passion of the sport, for the passion of the race, for the passion of feeling like you're flying on the road. It, again, cliche, but I bought into it, It was cool. It was fun. I want to be a racer, but it can't happen. But, maybe one day. Who knows? Ajit Kumar could become a racer. Anyone can, Yeah, great movie, man. It was a fun time. 10 out of 10. Go watch in IMAX. I hope it's on Blu-ray because I want to buy it. I'm gonna start watching F1 races. Great movie.